Hello friends, welcome to day 2 of our 7-day Chakra Yoga Healing Series. I am so grateful to be here with you all. If this is your first time participating in this series, I invite you to check out the Day 0 video for more information. There is a link down below in the comments section. When you are ready, find yourself a comfortable seated position, perhaps with a mat, and if you have 2 blocks or props readily available to you, they will be helpful in today's class. The theme for our Day 2 Tranquil Tempo Yoga class is the element water. Water is a transformative shapeshifter, nourishing life when it is in motion. Water is energy in motion. Water is a creator, a sculptor, a healer, and our first point of contact with existence in the womb. Incorporating fluidity, femininity, joy, and sensuality, we will adopt the ability to go with the flow and find freedom connecting to water as we raise its energy within us. According to yogic tradition, water is embodied in the Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Located in the abdomen, the sex organs, and the lower back, water welcomes emotions and sexuality into our life. The sacral chakra connects us to others through desires, feelings, sensations, and movement. Ideally, the sacral chakra brings us grace and fluidity, depth of feeling, the ability to accept change, and sexual fulfillment when it is opened, healthy, and nourished. For those of you who have already participated in day 1 of this Chakra Yoga series, you will be readily familiar with our use of daily affirmations. Today's affirmation that we will be working with is I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. I invite you to embody the essence of these words, the empowerment that resides within these phrases, and feel free to recite them to yourself, perhaps mentally or verbally out loud throughout the course of this practice, particularly if the mind ever begins to wander. And you might choose to bring these with you throughout your day. Modern yogic tradition has associated the Svadhisthana Chakra with the color orange. So, if it is at all helpful for you, I invite you to visualize the warming vibrancy of this color orange throughout the regions of the sacral chakra, really helping you to elevate and connect with your inner creativity, your sensuality, and your adaptability. For the next few moments, I invite you to tune into the breath. Accept where you are today and foster a deep connection with the self, with the soul, with your essence. letting go of any external stimulation. Remembering that this is your practice. Know that you always have the power to choose how you would like this series, this class to unfold. If you ever need to make any modifications, pause for a moment. I invite you to do so. Listen to what feels good for you right here in this present moment. On your next inhale, we'll begin to extend the arms overhead, finding length through the torso, through the crown of the head, joining the palms together. And on your exhale, mindfully lowering the palms to the heart center. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths to commence practice. Mindfully inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Humbly bow your chin towards your chest and begin to blink the eyes opened. Namaste. Throughout the course of this yoga class and throughout any of your subsequent practices, I invite you to explore Ujjayi ocean breath pranayama. Ocean breath is often referred to as victorious breath, and it originates from Sanskrit origins. It is a pranayama practice used to focus the mind, reduce stress, and generate internal heat. The sound of the exhalation is similar to the sound of the waves of water in the ocean, or the ocean of air blowing wind through the leaves and trees in a forest. You might like to perform several cleansing breaths in through the nostrils and out through the mouth before commencing Ujjayi breathing. And when you're ready, you will slowly inhale through the nostrils and slowly exhale through the nostrils as well, producing an audible sound. The action will be similar to that of blowing out through the mouth as you fog up a window or a mirror. With ocean's breath, however, this exhalation motion will be performed through the nose, so it creates a slight constriction of the throat. You are welcome to repeat this respiratory sequence as often as you like to achieve desired results. And if that sounds like too much, that is perfectly okay. Just carry on with your regular respiration. On your next inhale, join the palms together. Exhale, lower them to heart center. We'll walk our left fingertips out to the edge of the mat, lowering the right ear to the right shoulder, finding a lovely stretch along the side of the neck. Returning to center, we'll take it on the other side, walking the right fingertips out to the right, maybe guiding the left ear towards the left shoulder, warming up the cervical region of the spine, maybe closing the eyes. Mindfully returning to center, taking one gradual breath in this neutral position, We'll begin to walk our left fingertips out, maybe lowering onto the left forearm. Perhaps extending that right arm overhead, warming up the abdominals, feeling a lovely stretch along the side body. Being mindful to keep that right sits bone grounded to the surface beneath you. Broadening across the shoulders, opening the heart space. One more breath. Mindfully returning to center, roll the shoulders back, and we'll take this posture on the other side. Finding any variation that suits you today. Mindfully returning to center, we'll take this flow again, finding a little bit more fluidity, pairing movement with the breath. You might like to pause in any regions that feel a little good or where you feel a little bit more sensation. Listen to what is right for you today. Once more, either side. Returning to center. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Transitioning to face the short edge of the mat, we'll come into a tabletop position on all fours. Taking a moment to ground yourself, engage the core, the abdominals. Knees are hip width distance apart. Hips are squared. Wrists are in line with shoulders, grounding down through the palms, the knuckles, the fingertips. Finding length through the crown of the head, through the tailbone. Grounding down through the shins, the tops of the feet. Alternatively, you might like to tuck the toes under for knee support, and we'll begin to take some circular motions with the torso, bending the arms, moving the trunk, the body around from side to side, up and around, really embodying the fluidity and the properties of water. If you are moving in one direction, you might like to create some circles in the opposite direction. Really allowing this to be an intuitive practice, focusing on what it feels like rather than what it looks like. From here, we'll begin to create some circular motions as we bring the glutes towards the sits bones. And come up as we bring the shoulders over the wrists, making this as small or as large of a movement as you like. Perhaps rotating the direction. Beginning to slow down the movement, we'll return to tabletop and transition into cat and cow. On your next inhale, broaden across the heart space, gaze up. Exhale, press into the palms, curl and round, chin to chest, engage the core. Finding one more flow of this cat and cow, moving to your own cadence. When you feel as though your spine, your neck is sufficiently warmed up, we'll return to tabletop position, grounding down through the palms, tucking the left toes under as we raise that left leg, extending the left leg, squeezing the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed towards the surface beneath you, engaging the core, And from here, we'll pivot that right foot as we come into gate pose, Bujangasana, as we warm up our obliques, our abdominals. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together, and we'll extend the arms out wide at shoulder height, floating the left arm down the left leg, extending the right arm overhead, side body stretch, and back to center. A few more rounds like this, finding your rhythm, finding your fluidity, mindfully becoming aware of the energy that is channeling through the sacral, the Svadhisthana Chakra. We'll stay down and hold, finding a lovely side body stretch, seeing if you can broaden across the heart a little more, release any stored emotions. And we'll transition to lower our right palm onto the mat, extending our left arm overhead, coming into a supported side plank. Floating the left leg up at hip height, foot is flexed, toes are facing forwards, really working on engaging the gluteus medius, our stabilizing muscles, the abductors. Seeing if you can lift that leg a little higher, mindfully checking in with your foundation, with your core. Are you drawing the navel to the spine? Pointing the toes, we'll begin to lower and lift that top leg, the left leg, with control. Ever so slightly tapping the big toe down and raising the leg right back up. Ensuring that the left kneecap continues to face forwards. Maybe just tenting up onto those right fingertips for support. Once more, and returning to gate pose, joining the palms together, pivoting to tabletop position. We'll take one round of cat and cow, neutralizing the spine, mobilizing that energy. And we'll get set up to take this sequence on the other side, grounding down through the palms, tuck the right toes under, extend the right leg, inhale, float the right leg up. One breath here, engaging the core, ensuring that both hips are squared to the surface beneath you. From here, we'll transition into gate pose, pivoting on that grounded leg as though it were a kickstand. Extending the right leg out, foot is facing forwards, hips are squared. Extend the arms out at shoulder height, feel yourself growing taller through the wingspan. And we'll begin to float our right arm down the right leg, extending the left arm overhead, feeling a lovely stretch. Back to center, and again, finding your rhythm. Being mindful to keep that core engaged. We want to protect our back. Seeing if you can soften the muscles of the face. From here, we'll stay down and hold, gently resting that right palm atop of the right leg. Can you broaden across the heart space a little more? Open up through the shoulders. One more breath. Exhale back to center, and this time we'll lower our left fingertips down, raising the right arm skywards as we come into our supported side plank, maybe tenting up onto the fingertips, raising the right leg, keeping the foot flexed. Entire leg is engaged, the core is engaged. Steady breaths. Can you squeeze the glutes, the outer hips a little more? Raise the leg a little higher. 3 more gradual breaths. And from here, we'll begin to take those single leg supported side plank lifts. If you wobble around at all, that is okay. That is an opportunity to realign yourself with your equilibrium, cultivating an awareness and confidence for where that channel of stability resides. A few more. Returning to gate pose, join the palms together, and we'll transition into tabletop position, coming onto all fours, again taking a round of cat and cow if it's in your practice. From here we'll tuck our toes under, walk our fingertips out in front a few inches as we set up for downward facing dog, Aromakashvanasana, raising the hips towards the ceiling, engaging the arms, rolling the shoulders back and down away from the ears. You might like to invite some movement into the legs, bending one knee, extending the other. It is perfectly okay if your heels are raised off the floor, and if you have a little bit more space, mobility, you might like to lower your heels towards the earth, taking any adjustments that work for you today. Really working on having the inner elbows face skywards, triceps are rolled back, biceps are rolled forwards. In your own time, finding stillness in downward dog. One gradual breath here. On your next inhale, float the heels up off the mat, raise that right leg, keeping the whole leg engaged. Hips are squared, really using the glutes to help you lift that leg, find that leverage. Three-legged dog, Ikapada Aromakashvanasana, externally rotate the hip. Flex the knee, draw the heel towards the glutes, keeping the shoulders squared, finding a lovely hip opener. Re-extend the leg, shift the weight forwards, flex the knee, draw the knee to the chest. And we'll guide the right foot down between the palms, supported high lunge. Maybe tenting up onto the fingertips, ensuring that that right knee, the front knee, is in line with the ankle. If you have props accessible to you, this could be an opportunity to grab two blocks, placing them either side of that front foot. This is a great way to bring the earth closer to you, find more stability, more ease, and a release of tension from the accessory muscles. Playing around with the height of the props to suit your energy levels for today. And if you're not using props, that is okay as well. One more breath here, and on the exhale, we are going to extend our front leg, pivot on our back foot slightly as we come into pyramid pose. Keeping the hips squared. This is a wonderful way to stretch deep into the hamstrings, the calf muscles. Using the props to help you hinge forwards from the hips, allowing the belly, the chest to melt over that front leg. Finding ease. And on your next inhale, we will shift our weight forwards, bending that front knee as we come into a supported high lunge. Exhale, press back into pyramid pose. Finding fluidity. Maintaining that integrative awareness of the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana. Flowing at your rhythm. Softening the facial features, perhaps inviting a smile across the lips. On your next exhale, we'll push back into pyramid pose and stay here for a moment. For a deeper, more intense stretch, you might like to flex that front foot, really allowing ourselves to get deep into the belly of that calf muscle, the hamstrings. One more breath. If you had that front foot flexed, returning the foot to the mat, bending the right knee, and we'll shift our weight forwards, stepping up into a forward fold. Maybe coming into ragdoll, feet a hip width distance apart. You might like to sway the torso, the head side to side. Finding any adjustments that suit you. On your next inhale, we'll extend the legs, coming into Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the palms on the earth. Twice more, finding your rhythm. Rounding down through the heels of the feet, we'll roll up one vertebra at a time, coming into Tadasana. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, join the palms together. Floating the arms down by your side, roll the shoulders back, engage the core. Feel yourself growing taller through the crown of the head. One breath here. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Join the palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, plant the palms down. Step both legs back with control as we come into plank pose, pushing back into downward facing dog. Hips are raised. You might feel more of an opening sensation across the posterior chain, in particular the backs of the legs. Finding ease. We'll set up to take this flow on the other side. Inhale, raise the heels, extend the left leg skywards, three-legged dog, hips are squared. How high can you get that leg? Engaging the core, strengthening the arms, pointing the toes. One more breath. Externally rotate the hip. One breath here. Flex the knee, draw the heel towards the glutes, finding a lovely hip stretch. Shoulders are squared, re-extend the leg and shift the weight forwards, drawing the knee to the chest. With control, guiding the left foot between the palms. Supported high lunge, Bujangasana, staying high on the ball of that back foot, squeezing the inner thighs, gazing up. Again, finding the props if it's in your practice. Listen to what feels good for you today. If at any stage you would like to lower that back leg, the right leg, know that that is okay as well. This is your practice. Framing the front foot, on the next exhale, we will shift our hips back as we extend that front leg, revolve on our back foot, heel in, toes out, pyramid pose, folding over that front leg. Inhale, shift the weight forwards, supported high lunge. A few more variations, finding your rhythm, finding your edge. If you observe any regions of the body that feel particularly sensitive or a little bit interesting, simply guide the breath there. Visualize what it would feel like to create space and openness in these regions of the body. On your next exhale, we'll push up into pyramid pose. We'll stay here for a moment. Again, if you'd like a deeper stretch, I invite you to flex that front foot. Allow yourself to melt over that front leg, squaring the hips to the best of your ability. And with control, lowering the front foot to the mat, flexing the front knee, and we'll step up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Maybe finding ragdoll. If you're feeling a little bit more opened, you might like to keep your legs extended in this variation or keep them bent. It's up to you. On your next inhale, we'll extend the legs, place the palms on the mat, halfway lift, or place the palms on your shins. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Twice more, finding your rhythm. Grounding down through the heels, we'll roll up one vertebra at a time, keeping the legs bent, head and neck coming up last. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Floating the arms down by your side, affording yourself a moment in Tadasana, re-equilibrating with the breath. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive the arms out wide. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms down, step the left leg back. We'll come up into Crescent Lunge, Bujangasana, staying high on the ball of that back foot. You might like to keep your palms on your hips for support. Hips are squared, and we're really working on keeping the core engaged here, finding a neutral pelvis. We're not overarching the back. You might like to keep your arms extended out in front at shoulder height or raise them overhead. It's up to you. Really allowing yourself to broaden across the heart space. 3 breaths here. From here, we'll pivot to face the left as we come into Warrior Two Virabhadrasana. The back foot of the left leg is relatively parallel with the short edge of the mat. Toes are facing forwards. Working on finding a right angle between that front leg and the surface beneath you. Arms are extended out long. Fingertips are at shoulder height. You might like to gaze towards that front arm. Again, finding a neutral pelvis, a slight tuck of the pelvic bowl so that we're not arching our back. Flipping the palm of the front hand, and we'll come into a peaceful warrior, guiding the left arm down the left leg, extending the right arm overhead, finding a lovely stretch. And returning to Warrior Two, and again, finding your fluidity. Reconnecting to the sacral chakra, finding any way to express your creativity. We'll cartwheel the arms forward, frame the front foot, step back into plank pose, Phalakasana, push back into downward facing dog. 1 breath here, and we'll begin to walk our feet to the top of the mat, forward fold, taking as many steps as you like. Really allow the back of the neck to soften. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Twice more, finding your rhythm. Really keeping that core engaged. Navel is drawing towards the spine. And we'll roll up to Tadasana. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Float the arms down by your side. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. And we'll get ready to take this flow on the second side. Taking 2 more breaths in mountain pose. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, float the arms out wide, forward fold, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, frame the front foot, step the right leg back, crescent lunge. Taking any adjustments that you'd like. Staying high on the ball of that back foot. Keeping the hips squared. If you'd like to join the palms together around your hips, that is perfectly okay. Core is engaged. Mindfully releasing any stress, any tension from the body, knowing that all is well. 2 more gradual breaths in crescent lunge. From here we'll transition into Warrior Two Virabhadrasana, pivoting on the back foot, extending the arms out wide at shoulder height. You might like to heel toe the feet in or out a few inches, remembering that you're never resigned to a single posture. Always know that you can make modifications, and if you want to rest in child's pose or any asana of your choice, that is okay. If you're joining us in Warrior Two, maybe gazing towards those front fingertips, finding length through the crown of the head, finding length across the wingspan. Can you sink those hips a little lower? And we'll come into Peaceful Warrior, guiding the back arm down the back leg, extending the other arm overhead, side body stretch, returning to center. We'll take this transition a few more times, flowing from Warrior Two to Peaceful Warrior and back. Seeing if you can create a little bit more expansion, a little bit more space with every rotation. Maintaining that awareness of the sacral Svadhisthana Chakra. Lifting up and out of the pelvic bowl. Finding your edge, finding your fluidity. From Warrior Two, we'll cartwheel the arms to frame the front foot, step back into plank pose, and we'll pause here in plank pose for a moment, keeping everything engaged. Quadriceps, outer hips, glutes, calves, ankles are all firing, staying high on the balls of the feet. Navel is drawn towards the spine, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears. Keeping a micro bend in your elbows if that helps you facilitate greater stability. Find length through the crown of the head, through the heels of the feet, and creating a line of symmetry between those 2 points. From here, we will hug the triceps to the torso as we lower down inch by inch with control, hovering off the mat for a moment. And gently release, point the toes, well done. We'll come into Sphinx pose, Salamba Bujangasana. Elbows are underneath shoulders, pressing down through the forearms, fingertips are spread wide. Creating a stable foundation as you ground down through the tops of the feet, the shins, the pubic bone, engaging the muscles of the back. Broaden across the heart space, gaze up, creating space between the ears and the tops of the shoulders. Steady breath. From Sphinx pose, we'll lower our chest down, press up into the palms as we shift the hips back, coming into a wide-legged child's pose, Balasana. Big toes are touching, knees are about the width of the mat, taking any adjustments, allowing the chest, the belly to melt towards the earth, perhaps resting the forehead on the mat as you extend the arms out long in front of you. Breathe. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. One more breath in child's pose. Mindfully raising into a tabletop position, coming onto the sits bones, crossing the legs. And we're just using this as a transition to roll down onto our backs. You might like to place the palms under the backs of the legs, guiding the vertebra down one at a time, engaging the core. Mindfully releasing the head, the neck onto the mat. Guiding the heels close to the glutes, or heel toe the feet to the edge of the mat, allowing the knees to gently rest against one another. This is a beautiful way to create space in the lower back, allowing us to release any stagnant energy that might have accumulated there throughout the course of this practice or this day. Really allowing yourself to soften into the mat, surrender to this moment. One more breath, and we'll draw the knees to the chest, perhaps interlacing the fingers around the shins. You might like to bring the chin to the knees, squeezing everything together. Gently lowering the head down, and we'll come into Ananda Balasana, Happy Baby, using the peace fingers and the thumbs to grab a hold of the big toes as we draw the knees towards the armpits, feeling a lovely stretch along the groin, the hips, perhaps the inner thighs. If this isn't suitable for you, you might like to grab a hold of the lateral edges, the blade edges of the feet with your palms, perhaps swaying side to side slightly, creating a gentle massage for the lower back. If it's in your practice, you might like to extend one leg out at a time. This is a great way to passively stretch the hamstrings. Taking any variations that are nourishing for you in this moment. You might like to extend both legs out at the same time. Seeing if you can spread those legs a little wider. You might like to place your palms on the inner seams of the shins, the calves for guidance. And mindfully guiding the knees towards the chest, coming into a ball. From here, we will set up for our last asana before relaxation. We're going to be practicing waterfall. So if you have a wall close by, you're more than welcome to rest your legs up a wall. If you are using props, you might like to place a block underneath the sits bones, underneath the sacral region of your spine, and extend your legs skywards, flexing the feet slightly. Feet are about hip-width distance apart. If you have a yoga strap for your mat, you might like to place that over your eyes, just facilitating a greater stage of relaxation. Arms are extended the length of the body. You might like to place the palms facing skywards if you are open to the receptive mode. Alternatively, you might like to place your palms facing towards the earth for a more grounded experience. tuning into the breath, letting go. Taking one more gradual breath in this posture and mindfully bending the knees, lowering the feet onto the floor. And we actually have one more posture before relaxation. It is also very restorative. We're going to come into supported bridge pose. So keeping the prop where it is, if you have a block underneath your sacral region, we're just going to extend our legs out long as if we were in Shavasana. This is just a really gentle, passive way to stretch the hip flexors. You might like to cactus the arms out wide. You might like to extend the arms the length of the body, or place one palm on the belly and the other on the chest to really facilitate and tune into the breath, to this nourishing pranic life force that sustains us. Finding ease. Letting go. Mindfully releasing from this posture, raising the hips, moving the prop to the side if you were using it. We'll draw the knees to the chest, sway the torso side to side, maybe create some organic movement, a few circles with the knees in one direction and the other, finding a lovely release for the lower back. And we'll get set up for Shavasana, corpse pose. If you have blocks, it could be a great opportunity to place them under your knees. This is a wonderful variation for anyone who experiences hyperlordosis or an exaggerated curvature of the lower spine. It's just a really great way to take any extra pressure or tension off that region of the body. If you have a strap, you might like to place it over your eyes. Find any adjustments that allow you to feel most at ease. Giving yourself permission to surrender, accepting where you are at today in this very moment. You have done so well. You have courageously shown up to nourish the mind, the body, and the soul. Now it is your opportunity to simply rest in this peaceful abode that you have created. Allow yourself to exhale any tension, whether it be mental, physical, emotional. And again, if there are regions where you are feeling sensation, you are feeling a stagnation of energy, mindfully guide the breath there. You might like to commence a visualization of this rich, vibrant, radiant orange, representative of the sacral Svadhisthana Chakra, perhaps guiding your awareness to this region of the body to the abdomen, to the sexual organs, the lower back. You might simply like to appreciate the influx and outflow of the breath, maybe finding a mantra of your own, or practicing today's affirmation if ever the mind begins to wander. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. I am fluid, I am nourished, I can conquer any obstacle. Mindfully tuning in to the body, arriving in this moment. And when you're ready, beginning to invite some small movements into the body, perhaps wiggling the fingers, the toes, extending the arms overhead, interlacing the fingers, feeling a lovely stretch in opposite directions. And when you're ready, bending the knees, rolling over to one side as we come into fetal position. Taking as many breaths here as you like. Keeping the eyes closed, we will guide ourselves to a seated position. Rolling the shoulders back, placing the palms in the lap. Returning to your center. Acknowledging your efforts for today. On your next inhale, extend the arms overhead, stretch the torso one last time. Exhale, join the palms together at the third eye center, the brow chakra. The light and the teacher in me honors the light and the teacher in all of you. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths to close practice. Inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Humbly bowing forwards. Thank you all so much for today. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. You are welcome to conclude practice here or join us for a moment as we practice another variation of a breathing technique. This breathing practice is called Chandra Vedana, moon piercing breath, or left nostril breathing. If you practiced with us in day 1 of this series, it is similar to Anulam Vilom Pranayama. So the left nostril is associated with the parasympathetic nervous system, the cooling system of the body, symbolic of the moon's energy. Chandra Vedana reduces internal body heat, enhancing focus, and reduces tension, allowing the body to feel more relaxed. Chandra Vedana is essentially isolating inhalations through the left nostril, the Ida Nadi, meaning comfort in Sanskrit, which is associated with the feminine and cooling properties of lunar energy. This is a great practice for any individuals who experience heartburn or high blood pressure. You can practice it as often as you like, and about 1 to 3 minutes in duration per session of the Chandra Vedana. So, placing the left palm in the lap, finding a mudra of your choice, maybe Gyan mudra. We are going to be using our right hand again for this breathing practice, using our right thumb and our ring finger to open and close the right and left nostrils respectively. You might like to have the index and middle finger facing skywards, resting against the brow chakra, the 3rd eye center. Or you might like to bend the index and middle finger, having them rested against the palm. It's up to you. From here, we are going to take a cleansing breath, inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Finding a comfortable position, feeling relaxed, feeling at ease. Chandra Vedana Pranayama will be practiced through the nostrils, both for inhalations and exhalations. So when you're ready, we'll take a gradual inhalation through the nostrils, placing the right thumb on top of the right nostril. We'll exhale through the left nostril. Once you've completed your exhalation, we'll inhale through the left nostril, closing the nostril with the right ring finger, releasing the thumb, exhaling through the right nostril. And this time we will block the right nostril with the thumb, and again inhale through the left nostril, close the left nostril with the ring finger, open the right nostril, exhale, release. Flowing through this transition, exclusively inhaling through the left nostril, stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, and mindfully exhaling through the right nostril. Really visualizing the cooling, nourishing sensations this practice has on the body. being mindful to ensure that your inhalations and exhalations are of equal duration. And as you become more experienced in this practice, you might like to change it to a 1:2 ratio so that your exhalations are more drawn out. After a few rounds, I invite you to return both palms to the lap. Continue with normal respiration and practice this several more times, leaning into whatever feels good for you. Thank you for joining this Chandra Vedana Pranayama class. I am very grateful for the opportunity to share this wholesome practice with you. Thank you all so much. On your next inhale, we'll extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Namaste.